Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. We have good in abundance. My name is Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy, and this is our series entitled I'm Curious About. And we're going to be doing a series of 8 short videos regarding Hanukkah. I'm curious about Chanukah. Now, I just said it 2 different ways, by the way. I said Hanukkah and I said Chanukah, but we'll talk about that in an upcoming video. So let's discuss right away some of the important high-level aspects of this amazing holiday called Chanukah. First of all, let's discuss what it's not. Hanukkah is not Jewish Christmas, and yet there are similarities. Chanukah is not about eating potato pancakes or latkes as they're called, and yet that is important. Hanukkah has to do with religious oppression, war, miracles, lights, women's rights, and miracles, all wrapped up into 8 days. Yes, there are 8 days of Hanukkah, and each one is unique and yet only exists as part of the whole. So let's just jump right in and talk about the things that we mentioned, what Hanukkah is not. Hanukkah is not Jewish Christmas for several reasons. One, primarily, is because it predates Christmas by at least 160 years. Well, that's a long time. That's about as long as from the American Civil War to where we are now. So it's a long time before the existence of Jesus or anybody who ever call themselves a Christian. So it's not the Jewish Christmas. And yet there are similarities in the sense of the following. Christmas takes place, as we're told, for the Roman Catholic world and the Protestant world on December 25th in the solar year. By the way, just as an aside, in the Greek Orthodox and Russian Orthodox calendar, it takes place on January 7th, a whole different discussion, which we'll do at another time. I'm curious about. That's a whole other series, the calendar. So it does take place on the 25th of December. Hanukkah takes place on the 25th of the Hebrew month called Kislev. Now, interestingly enough, the Hebrew calendar is both a lunar calendar and a solar calendar. So the 25th day of the month of Kislev is always the 25th, but the month of Kislev can be earlier or later, depending upon what happens in the calendar cycle. So there are certain years that have an extra month in them, have 13 months, and some years have only 12 months. So this particular year, 2021, Hanukkah comes out what we call earlier, and more often than not, it comes out later, meaning somewhere around the 25th of December on the solar calendar, but it's tied to the lunar calendar. So there is that interesting connection between the 25th of a month, both for Hanukkah and its later incarnation called Christmas. Now, the other important thing to understand is that people eat. Food is a very important part of Jewish celebrations, and this is a celebration. Celebrate, celebrate, dance to the music. We have music as well. The important thing is not so much that you eat potato pancakes or latkes, as they're called, or even donuts. The important aspect is oil, O-I-L, oil. Now, we're talking about oil that is used to power light. So not oil from the ground, petroleum oil. We're talking about olive oil. Olive oil was the standard used for lighting or illumination throughout the ancient world, and actually even up until several centuries ago, when people started using kerosene and whale oil, and then eventually the ability to refine petroleum and therefore have light from that, and then electricity. But the idea of the Festival of Lights comes about through miracles. And the greatest of the miracles is not just the lighting of the candles or the oil, but a war, a victory. This victory happened to take place over 7 years, as opposed to a great, amazing victory that took place in 1967 when Israel defeated 4 invading nations in 6 days, called the Six-Day War. A great miracle was celebrated there. And I use those terms specifically because that's the initials of the letters on the dreidel, which we play on Hanukkah. A great miracle happened there, denoting the miracle of defeating a larger enemy by a small force of determined people over the course of 7 years instead of 6 days. But still in all, the ability to win victory and to light candles and to keep the fire and the passions of life burning bright. So this is part 1. We will see you again on part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and go deep into this amazing, wonderful, fantastic, and ever interesting holiday called Chanukah. Chanukah. Best wishes. Make it a great one. Bye now.